Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At a time when this country has a $4.5 trillion national debt, and at a time when there are members here who are talking about cutting back on Medicare and Medicaid and veterans programs, student loans, school lunch programs, and other programs of tremendous need for the vast majority of our people, it seems to me that we can no longer tolerate spending billions and billions of taxpayers' dollars on corporate welfare. And that is money that goes to the largest corporations in America and to the wealthiest people. I want to say a few words today about one particular program which I think is a very good example of corporate welfare, and that is OPIC, the Overseas Private Investment Corporation. What OPIC does is receive about $50 million a year of taxpayers' money. And what they do with that money is something that is very interesting. What they do is help some of the largest corporations in America invest abroad. They provide insurance for those companies who are investing in politically unstable countries such as Russia, Eastern Europe, former communist bloc, and certain Latin American countries. And what they're saying is if there is political unrest in those countries, if your assets are nationalized, we will provide insurance to cover your loss. Also, OPEC provides generous financing to the large multinationals who wish to invest abroad. Now, it seems to me that if the largest corporations in America wish to invest in Russia, wish to invest in Croatia, wish to invest in Peru or Latin America, they have every right in the world to do so. But it also seems to me to be absolutely wrong to say to the middle class of America, people who are working longer hours for lower wages, that we are going to subsidize your investment abroad. And Mr. Speaker, one of the things that particularly outrages me is that many of the companies who we are providing incentives to invest abroad are precisely those companies who are laying off hundreds of thousands of American workers. Now, it seems to me that it is a little bit absurd that we are helping the Ford Motor Company invest abroad after they have laid off 337,000 workers here in the United States in the last 15 years. And I would ask my colleagues to take a good look at this chart, which is right here by my side. Because what this chart shows is that Ford is getting help from OPIC to invest abroad. Interesting, after laying off 337,000 American workers in the last 15 years. So we're saying to Ford and the other companies, well, thank you very much for throwing American workers out on the street. Thank you very much for lowering the standard of living of American workers. And here's your reward. The taxpayers of America will help you invest in other countries. And we say thank you to the Exxon company. You've only laid off 86,000 American workers in the last 15 years. Here's some help. Maybe you want to go abroad and hire people there for low wages. Thank you very much. Thank you, AT&T. You've only laid off over 200,000 American workers. General Electric, 221,000 American workers, and so forth and so on. Now, it seems to me that rather having the taxpayers of America providing incentives for these huge corporations to go abroad, and I might say, Mr. Speaker, and this is a fact not very often talked about, that these American corporations, the large multinationals who are laying off millions of American workers, they have invested this last year $750 billion abroad. Now, in every city in America, in every state in America, mayors and governors are getting down on their hands and knees, and they're saying to these companies, invest in the state of Vermont, my state, invest in Texas, invest in California. But these corporations, no, they're laying off American workers, and they are going abroad. So it seems to me that instead of encouraging them to go abroad, maybe we may want to say to them, hey, stay back here in the United States.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
Provide jobs for our workers. Pay your taxes here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.